What's up, guys? Xavier here, and it's another episode of Layman in the morning, episode 9, I believe. Um, I was thinking all yesterday. I mean, because we'll just get right into it. I do want to talk about the George Floyd situation in Minneapolis. I don't know if I'm gonna spend a whole hour on it. This might be a short episode, but I don't know. There was my once again my microphone's on a low battery, so what happened last episode might happen again. We might have to go on camera audio, but we shall see. Like I said, this is gonna be a quickie anyway. I don't think I'm gonna go a full hour because I don't know. I legit don't know how to transition from this subject to some goofy shit. So it is what it is. I guess I want to. So I'll just preface. I was watching the news yesterday with my mom, and I saw the protests happening, which began fairly calm at first, and we could say in front of the CNN building. And to provide more context, I'm currently in Georgia. I'm from Georgia. I live here, and I was watching the protests in Atlanta in front of the CNN building, and maybe like an hour or so passes, and people are lighting cop cars on fire. They're throwing the barricades into the windshields, and somebody set one on fire. They're spray painting the CNN logo in front of the building. And it turned into a riot, essentially. It's the same as what's going on right now in Minneapolis, setting buildings on fire and shit like that. And it was... My mom was disgusted, to say the least. And she was praying that it just... When we started watching the news, she was just praying that it would just remain civil, and we would just... A statement would just be made by just being there, being with like-minded people, and just being calm and collected, and just conveying how you feel, whether it's screaming or just holding up a sign, whatever the case is. You're already there. You've already shut down the street. It's one of those things where that should be... That should suffice for what a protest is, for the difference between a protest and a riot. And my mom, she saw a cop car getting lit on fire, and these people just dancing on top of it, the middle fingers, fuck the police. And she turned the TV off and just started tearing up and went upstairs. And I'm looking at that. I'm taking that all in. It's a... I don't know how to traverse this without sounding like a fucking sellout. So, but it's a lot of young, angry people out there, and also elephant in the room. I wasn't there. I'm a guy. I'm just a dude with a camera and a microphone, just giving his opinion from behind the scenes. I wasn't there. I haven't ever been to a protest. Yada yada yada. Well, what is Xavier doing for the? Well, what am I doing? Who am I to say any of this? So I'm just gonna give my armchair opinion on this, I guess. But if that's even how you use that phrase, but I'm watching that in a way of I'm scared. These people look they look like thugs, man. Um, People with their shirts off, scarves around their face, and they're dancing on top of these cop cars, just saying "fuck the police" like it's a music video or something like that. And it's just gross, man. There's spray painting the, like I said, the CNN logo, and it progressed to where they were trying to get into the building. They started tearing down the building and whatnot, and it's just anarchy outside in Atlanta, that whole street. And it's even more weird, I guess, more sad, knowing that Atlanta prepared for, well, not even that, quite the opposite. They didn't prepare for this. They knew if is a, I think Keisha Lance Bottoms, or the not Keisha Lance Bottoms, the Christ, the I think the lead sergeant of the police force in Atlanta. I forgot her name, but she emphasized that she doesn't want to start out with people coming out in riot gear and shields and stuff like that, because that is, as she said, it's implying that we are prepared for a riot. We know you guys are gonna get out of hand, but they sent the fucking the bike people out there, the police bike guys. It's just these niggas lined up in neon green and short shorts with their bikes, and they're just sitting in a line like this. Like, what the hell are you gonna do? Like, half these people are built like me. But they did that because they had faith in all those protesters and all those people that were out there. Like, we're just gonna send out the bike squad just to just stand in a line. It's gonna be an easy shift. You get in and like you're home by 10 or whatever. Because they assume this is all we need. We trust our city, we trust our people. We're not going to get out of hand, obviously. We're not going to be spray painting "fuck the police" on the CNN logo and burning down cop cars. And lo and behold, like I said, maybe like it had to be like an hour later, my mom was screaming, calling me downstairs, "Xavier, Xavier." And just like, oh my God. Just looking at the TV, and she's just appalled. And these people are busting down every car that was parked outside, and these people just dancing on top of it with their middle fingers up. And it was scary, man. And you gotta think about those people that were out there in terms of the police force, the bike gang, whatever you want to call them. They're just there trying to not even facilitate. They're just, because they had faith in these people. They had so much faith. They're out there in short shorts, my guy. You don't you don't squabble up with nobody in short shorts, dude. They just pulled up on their bikes, and it's like, okay, this is gonna be easy pay. We're getting in, we're getting out. I'm gonna be at home watching Andy Griffith, bro, and that's it. But goddamn, man, people just turned into just thugs, man, dancing on top of cop cars. And you have to think about those people that came there to just do what they were supposed to do. They having no part of the killing, having no part in what happened in Minneapolis. They're here for the protesters. They could have stayed there as long as they needed to at least try to get the point across and say what they needed to say, and whatever the case was. But they turned it into something else, and then it came to a point where they had to bring out the old SWAT team and shit like that, and the shields. And it's like, damn, dude. we were doing so good, and I just have, like I said, I'm a nigga behind the camera, you know. I wasn't there. I wasn't at any of them. I seen all them, and it hurts every single time. But I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna defend myself here, but it's just gross to see. It's and the right and his dad said George Floyd's dad said himself, or at least one of the news people reported that he this is it's the wrong way to go in terms of rioting. His own dad is saying, "Hey, you guys shouldn't be doing this. This is fucked. It's not the right way to go." But it shouldn't take his dad to say that. It's obviously it's rioting. It's just ignorance. Burning down a building will not bring a man's life back. I feel like just the point of a protest is to say how you feel. What this person or what this entity did was wrong, and I am therefore against that. And here's like thousands of other people who have the same mindset as me, and we are gonna, you know, as just calm civilians tell you how we feel, just exercising the First Amendment, and just keep it at that, and get your point across that way. There's no. Well, I mean, I like. What's the point? What do you have to gain and burning down? Because, like I said, these I've been pulled over 4 times, 3 of them, and I talked about this in another episode. I forget which one. Maybe the racism episode. So check that one out. Um, I've been pulled over 4 times, 3 by white police officers. Right. 3 of those instances, I did not fear for my life. I didn't even get a ticket. If it was racially targeted, I would have at least gotten a ticket because they couldn't justify me, doing anything else. But anyway, I didn't even get a ticket. I just got pulled over for me being a dumbass. My high beams were on at one time, and I wasn't turning them off for oncoming traffic. One cop thought I was swerving. He's kind of iffy because I knew I wasn't swerving, but he didn't give me a ticket. He didn't do anything like that. He was just like, hey, just be careful. Walked away. Um, and then another time I mentioned in the last podcast when we were moving to this house, and I was driving my mom's car and I didn't turn her high beams on, and I was just driving in a fucking abyss at 2 a.m. I'm obviously being an idiot and a danger to myself and other people. He didn't give me a ticket. He was like, I just wanted to make sure you know how to turn these on so you don't, drive off a cliff or something, you idiot. Didn't fear for my life at any of those points. So when you're doing this, when you're saying fuck the police and you're throwing middle fingers in front of the news cameras and you're burning down cop cars, you are essentially just because I hate the phrase "fuck the police" and I hate saying pigs and shit like that because it's generalizing, and when you generalize, you're saying one guy did this, therefore they're all like this, and it's shitty, man. Like why are people in California? Why are people in Atlanta raising middle fingers in front of these bikers and whatnot? These people in short shorts. It just showed up on their bikes like they're preparing for a picnic or something like that. They had nothing to do with this. All the cops in Minneapolis, they didn't have anything to do with that situation. It was just those however many people. It was just that man that had his knee on his neck, and however other many people that I don't know. We're dumb enough not to stop him. I completely put blame on them. Say fuck them. you know, Visit them in prison and say fuck you and shit like that. Get in their face. There's people. It sucks because there's people that's genuinely waking up every morning with the intent of, wow, I love my job because I get to protect my people and I make the world safer. And then that same man or woman shows up to this protest and there's just a teenager saying, fuck you, you're a pig, and you're doing nothing to benefit society. We don't need you. You're a monster and you're just like the rest of them. And that person who puts his life on the line every day, I can't even imagine that, man. I can't fathom being that person. That can't be any just so far from the cop that killed George, and he just wants to do better by the world and genuinely protect people. And to have someone, to have a mass of people saying fuck you and you're not shit. It saddens me, man. It's gross. Those guys had nothing to do with that situation. It's just those three or four or whatever cops that were at the scene at that time. Fuck them, most definitely. They're all pigs, and it will be better without them. You just say all that towards them, project that energy towards them, and then the protests just just civilly be like, hey, this needs to stop in general. I don't want to see this again. And I don't know. Like I said, I've been all the times I've been pulled over. I never feared for my life, and I hate generalizing because it turns me into one of the people that I hate, so which is like a racist. All racists generalize. Basically, that's the root of racism. All black people are niggers, and they all do this and that. Therefore, I do not like them. And it sucks, man. And you when you say fuck the police, when you say all that shit, you're basically saying all the people that put their lives on the line, black or white. If you're a cop, then black or white or whatever, Hispanic. If you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. You're out to kill black people too. So therefore, fuck you. It's completely wrong, and it's just such a backwards way of thinking, and it saddens me, man. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's why I'm mostly against it. I'm not all the way against the rioting, and I do want to get into that point. I want to go into both sides of it. There's a small part of me. There's a very minute part of me that's. I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was a social media was buzzing for a point of time last year or 2 years ago, where it was talking about George Zimmerman, and he couldn't. Tinder blocked him from making an account. He made an account on Tinder, and Tinder removed him for obvious reasons. And social media was freaking out, like, wow, what, he really thought he could get away with this? Yeah, that's what you get. And it's like social media is pushing this in my face, and it's like I'm supposed to be, hooray, George Zimmerman can't fuck, you know. Thank God George Zimmerman cannot get laid tonight. But homie is still walking around. He could see his family. He can go to Walmart. He can go to bed in the comfort of his own home, knowing that he murdered somebody, an innocent child. And I mean, you think about the times where he auctioned the fucking gun off, where that he killed Trayvon with. He's tweeting back at people, "You come at me a certain way, you're gonna end up like the last idiot that tried to fight me," implying Trayvon again. Just an openly, unapologetically racist person, right? That took a child's life away, and seemingly has no regrets about it, and got off scot free. You know, the system was just 1,000% on his side in that moment. And this shit was about to happen again, where the DA was like in Minneapolis, "Hey, there's not enough evidence to charge these people for." No, you know what? It was something like George had a heart condition. He had a heart condition, and there was no signs of strangulation. We know he wasn't choked. There was a knee on his neck. Never mind. Never mind. Because I'm saying the obvious, right? I'm saying 2 + 2 = 4, and I'm saying the sky is blue right now. But there's grown ass people on the news being like, he wasn't strangled. He had a heart condition. Therefore, that was the reason he died. It wasn't these. So I see George Zimmerman doing some fuck shit, right? I see George Zimmerman doing all of these things. Whether it's the tweets he's making or people saying, "Well, at least he can't join Tinder," and it's like, and then you have situations like Dylan Roof, and I follow this one rapper named Royce the 5'9", and he was doing an interview with these people where he was talking about how Dylan Roof was taken to Burger King or something like that before on the way to prison. Cops were like, "You look hungry" or something like that, and they made a stop. I don't know if that's real or whatever the case is, but the George Zimmerman tweets, and he auctioned off the gun, man. I'm pretty sure it was bought for $250,000 or something like that. Just unapologetically a hateful person, and there, you know, there's there's a portion of my humanity that's really balled up, very pushed, and I feel like we all have this, safe to say, but it's a balled up, animalistic kind of like anger, just being, that you just kind of keep, it just the recesses of your minds somewhere. You know what I mean? And you don't access that part of you because, you know, morally, killing people is bad. If I do this, that is bad. It is not the right way to be human. But it's like, I mean, yeah, that's it. You don't go to that part of your mind because it's too disgusting. It's too raw. It's just your truest of intentions with somebody, or how you feel about things that you just keep suppressed because society is like, okay, wow, that's kind of fucking weird, or that's kind of dark, bro. Keep that to yourself. And it's I don't wish death on anybody, but that part of me, that small animalistic, raw, whatever you want to call it, part in the very back of my mind would have no problem hearing the next day if George Zimmerman was just shot in the face or something like that. And it's gross. It's sad for me to say that. I don't like sounding like that. But if I genuinely, if I heard a news report like that, I don't know how much I would. I don't know, bro. I feel like it would just be a straight ass face, and it's like, cool. I'm gonna go eat Cheerios or something like that. You know what I mean? Just uncaring, not upset at all about it. Just as that small part of me that wants him to just suffer, to say the least, for everything that he's done and been doing. And I say all that to say, I say all those gross, scary things to say that I feel like that small part of everybody is being manifested into setting buildings on fire or saying fuck the police or destroying a cop car or, just saying fuck you to somebody's face. That, because they're just acting on it, man. They're just acting on that part of them that society wouldn't like. All those people are like, I would like to think that every killing they see is there in their mind was like, okay, this is what I would do if there was a cop in front of my face right now, or there's a cop car. This is what I want to do. This is how I feel, and they're just here. We're just seeing it in real time, man. These people are fighting cops. They have no problem getting punched in the face or getting shot at with beanbags because that's just a general adrenaline rush of just anger and hatred and passion. It's just being expressed for this disgusting thing that happened and that shouldn't happen and that has been happening, this cycle. And you also got to think, when you're those people, how many, okay, we've done the peaceful thing. Oh, it happened again, we're going to do the peaceful thing. Oh, it happened again, let's keep doing the peaceful thing. Oh, one more time? All right, man, I got to flip your car. You know what I mean? I got to set some shit on fire because you're obviously not listening. So unfortunately, despite what I said, earlier, I 1,000% see both sides of it. I don't want there to be riots, but I understand why there are riots. I completely understand because you can only try to get your point across so much until people try to, I guess, take advantage of your kindness, and you feel like you need to physically do something to get that point across at that point. And then the news anchor said it best. There's all this tension rising anyway and it's been a racist ass week, by the way. It's been a racist ass week, bro. With this lady threatening to call the cops on this man who was bird watching. I forgot her name, and I don't care to remember her name, but you have that. You got the Doja Cat situation, and then you got this little fucking Seinfeld side story of Joe Biden being like, if you don't know who to vote for, you're not black. I mean, well, that's not so racist. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if that's racist. I feel like that's a black Twitter joke that someone would make on there, but. And then you have Ahmaud Arbery that just happened. It didn't happen too long ago, man. Maybe what, 2 or 3 weeks ago. you just kind of wonder, just is it gonna stop? And hatred and ignorance is not, it's not gonna slow down anytime soon, and it's sad, man. It's sad. It's always gonna be there. Someone with just malicious intent. And my mom was telling me this was one of the reasons she was apprehensive about having me, because she knows that she would have brought a baby into this, just a little, just a brown boy into this world full of just anger and just racist intent and bigotry, and it sucks, man. Because I can't fathom being her, and she's sitting at home. And I've been a dick so many times in terms of being at my friend's house, and she asked, "Where are you?" And then in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I told you I'd be at John's house. I told you I'd be at Mason's house. I told you I'd be hanging with Mike, whatever friend I'm hanging out with that night. I told you we're just gonna be there. We're just chilling." She knows. She knows I'm with them. She knows I'm hanging out with my friends tonight, I'm not. And I choose not to text back. I choose not to say anything. And there's a thought going through her head of, he's either sleeping at John's house or he either got shot that night. And I guess I'll know in the morning. It's my mom right now. Um, and I can't fathom having that feeling as a parent. I mean, I'll be much more aware of it going forward now, but I hate that she's in that position. I hate to be the one that might be a recipient of something as scary and gross as what's been happening. But once again, I'm not gonna generalize. I'm not gonna say fuck all cops. I know there's good people out there, and I know there's people that are willing to put their life on the line, who are already putting their life on the line, just trying to protect me. There's good people out there. I know there are, and this situation, believe it or not, I just don't want to lose faith in humanity, but because of this, if it's anything this has taught me and all the other ones, is that it's not going anywhere. The hatred, the racism, the ignorance, it's not leaving, and it's not leaving anytime soon. Not saying that this will happen again, but it I wouldn't be surprised. And I hate saying that too. And I hate watching the videos. Cuz I feel like I'm getting desensitized to it in a weird way. It's like I shouldn't have this feeling of not again, when I see that footage. I shouldn't be thinking that. But it makes me feel like I'm just a shell of who I was. I'm not crying. I'm not bawling out when I see this. I mean, other people are. This might be just personal to me, but I just feel like I'm devoid of emotion at this point, and I obviously do care, and I obviously want this to stop, but I don't know. Because what else can I say other than I don't want this to happen again? I mean, there's millions of people don't want this to happen again. Obviously, I don't want to talk in circles and be like, this is terrible. This like we know, and we know this is terrible. We know this sucks, and what where are we going? What do I say beyond that point? And I guess to the credit of the people who are rioting in some weird way, it's like thousands of people, just like me, have stood outside and with their signs and being like, "This sucks. This needs to stop. This is terrible." And it just doesn't register with anybody, whether it's the police or the just the justice system, whatever the case is. It doesn't settle with them. And it's like, no, we still don't get it. People are, you know, people are going to be murdered, and the system's going to say some fucking crazy shit like we don't have enough evidence. There's no signs of strangulation. He was a thug anyway. I do want to touch on that too. I mean, if George Floyd, he could have been kicking a puppy for several hours before the police came. There's prison for a reason. Whatever he was doing, stick him in there for a week or a month, or that establishment. I would hope, maybe it's not, to is made to rehabilitate people who are doing bad things and teach them the error of their ways. Then you send them off, unless you murdered somebody or whatever. Then you're in there for forever, whatever the case is. Like, obviously this is layman in the morning, and in layman's terms, I'm explaining the prison system. I'm sure it's of course way deeper than that, but I figured at the least at the base level somebody is doing bad. Maybe you're peeing in a Walmart, stick them in prison, show them, hey, this is what happens if you pee in a Walmart. Okay, I am out of prison now, and I am a changed man. I will no longer pee in WalMarts because I see what happens if I do again. And if you murder somebody, hey, you're in prison forever. I hope you learn the error of your ways, even though you're not coming out anytime soon, or you're at least going to be coming out when you're 80 years old. And you have time to think. At a base level, that's what I would hope prison is. But we've seen with Zimmerman walking around and a lot of other cops that aren't taking accountability for the things they do, or the system not taking accountability for the things that these crooked people do. I guess that's it. I really just wanted to touch on both sides of it. I literally don't know what else to say besides I don't want this this sucks and this shouldn't happen again. But just tired of saying that. I'm exhausted, and I hate seeing this footage of people losing their lives in the most unnecessary fashion, man. Like a man says, I can't breathe. It's even me explaining why me explaining what should have been done correctly feels stupid, you know? Me explaining what those 3 or 4 cops should have done correctly, it's like I'm teaching a child math, you know? It just feels redundant and obvious. Like this is what if a man says he can't breathe, that means there's not enough oxygen going into his body. If that continues to happen, he'll die. So maybe let him breathe and then continue to do your job, whether it's take him to prison or, whatever, just keep continue to cuff him, whatever the case is. But you still see that doesn't compute with some that the wheels don't turn. Or maybe they do, and maybe that guy knew what he was doing. I don't know. That's the scarier part of it. I mean, obviously that guy knew exactly what he was doing, but I'm just getting myself more worked up. 41 minutes. I guess that's good enough. I don't want to talking 20 more minutes about this shit is it's like, damn son, what am I, Oprah? I don't know. Um, yeah, that's it. That's it. Rest in peace to George Floyd. I hope him and his family. I mean, it was breaking news yesterday that that cop was charged with murder. So it's a step forward. It's definitely a step forward in comparison to the past killings and cops not getting convicted at all. So in a way, it's progress to say the least. But I think the riots do need to stop. But I can understand where those people are coming from. They're just angry. You can only keep that feeling within you for so long because we're all human and we're all going to act on how we feel at some point. There's going to be some kind of tipping point. Um, my name is Xavier. This has been Layman in the Morning. Thank you for watching. Peace.